Hello and welcome back to 1874. We're live for the first time in what feels like forever. Myself and sneaky contracts boy Jacob Tanswell in association with Match Bingo. If you want to download the Match Bingo app, just head to 1874.io/matchbingo. You can buy yourself 4 cards and you'll get one free. They cost about £2, I think it is, for a bingo card. You use them through all the sport that's going on at the moment and you can win between £25 and £250. I've won a couple of times myself, and you guys signing up really helps us as a channel. So if you can do that, if that's your thing, we really, really appreciate it. This is transfer/contract talk, although Jacob Tanswell is on, so it's more of a contract talk, because let me tell you, what he doesn't know about contracts is not worth knowing. Jacob, really, really hot with contracts at the moment, aren't you? Everything you say just seems to be coming to fruition. And also, I will say, we did a show the day before the Guessand news broke. I say that differently every single time. And you did have another look in your eye, but I thought, no, he wouldn't do that. He doesn't know anything. Did you know?
No, so with Guessand, however you say it, sorry. Guessand, okay. I knew, I had reported that they were following him from January. So it's one of those deals where you when you know they like someone, you keep checking in. So every week you check in with someone, you say, what's the latest on him? And I knew Villa were still looking at him. But the question was whether they could get the financial package together and whether they could beat off competition. And if and when he signs, there'll be a piece on this. And the game that essentially convinced Villa to sign him, I've analysed. So I knew they were interested in him, but when we were talking, Dan, I didn't think it was imminent. And then probably about 11, 12 o'clock yesterday, on Tuesday, sorry. Was it Tuesday? Yeah.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, I started to hear, and then I started to hear the Villa were interested. I said, well, I knew that. But then someone was like, no, I think the framework of the deal was in place and we're overtaking Crystal Palace. And I was like, okay, interesting. So you then ask other people and they say, we can't, and you get the suggestion that maybe something's going on. A few people are not responding, or a few people saying yes, but can you keep it quiet? But no, let's preach a little bit of caution. And then, you check with other people and then they say, yeah, advancing. And you can kind of understand when people are confident. So we obviously put the news out first, and it's very careful how we word things. We want to be careful here to make sure we don't upset anyone. I think we said initially working on a deal for Villa to sign, because at that point Villa hadn't agreed a deal for him yet, but they were looking like they were well on track. And then within the next hour, Villa had and Nice had come to an agreement over the fee late Tuesday evening, and it's medical, and flying over was penciled in for the following day. So it's just this is an example of how you can be sitting on something for months, you can be assessing a player for months, but things can happen so quickly. And Villa managed, touch wood, to get that fee agreed, and it's a really, really good fee considering that players in his position and younger are going for a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I was on TalkSport on Tuesday night, and literally as I'm about to go on, that news broke. So I know I'm going to be asked loads of questions about this guy. And if being honest, I don't know a ton about him. So I was scrambling around trying to get information. I knew the basics of him. I've seen him play, but the pressure of being live, I was cursing you. I was thinking, Tanswell knew this. He knows I'm going on TalkSport, and he hasn't said a word to me about it.
I didn't say his name, but I did say that Villa wanted a versatile attacker that could play in more positions. So I kind of, when I was talking, I kind of had him in mind, but I didn't know it was going to advance so quickly. Like the same that today we'll come on to. I didn't wake up this morning and think John McGinn's going to be hopefully starting contract talk soon. It just happens quite quickly. You hear a whisper, and then if you can get a double, triple, quadruple source quite quickly, it can happen within half an hour. So
yeah. With Guessand, how close are we? When do you think that's going to be completed, if you have to call it?
I must admit, I've not checked in for the last day, really.
You've been running today. You left me a voice note running earlier, Jacob did.
Why'd you just say that?
Well, you did.
It sounds like a very busy body, but I've not checked in, but obviously I saw that he'd flown over yesterday, so I always assumed that it'd be done tomorrow. Okay.
Also, I clipped up all the TalkSport stuff, and Kevin Hatchard came on TalkSport that night I was on and gave a great rundown about Guessand. So if you haven't watched that, although it appears a lot of people have, that video has absolutely flown. So thank you to everyone that's watched and listened to that. There is going to be some more Guessand content tomorrow. as well. French football expert Jonathan Johnson had a chat with me this morning. That will be on the channel tomorrow as well, so he gives his thoughts and his lowdown. Obviously, Jonathan is a French football expert and a Villa fan, so he's got a vested interest in Guessand and how he's going to do. So do watch out for that tomorrow. But Jacob, the news just kind of keeps on rolling at the moment. You were the first person to moot the Luca Digne contract talks. You did it on the sly. On it, I think it was it the deal sheet? What is it, the deal sheet? The Athletic called? What's it called?
Yeah.
Deal sheet?
So every Tuesday we do a deal sheet where we just give a rundown of what's happening.
You snuck it in there.
Yeah, and it's a bit like the John McGinn Everton thing about last month. We snuck that in there, and it's just one of those things where you put things in there that are true, but they don't warrant a standalone story. So us saying Villa are open up contract talks with Luca Digne, it's okay, but nothing's concrete yet. So we have to just keep an eye on it. And I love contracts because you just keep checking in with people. There's other contracts I'm sure will break in the next few weeks, but and you just need to get the green light for it.
We know you love contracts. That's how you've acquired the nickname Sneaky Contract Boy. If you didn't like contracts, you wouldn't have acquired that nickname. And let me say, over the last few days, that nickname, it had caught wildfire before. He's really gone to the next level now, hasn't he?
I saw on Twitter, someone was like, thought it was an insult to me. Someone was actually sticking up for me.
I think he was like, I think Jacob's all right. He's a good guy.
He's an honest guy. He's not sneaky at all.
Must not realise that we do like shows and podcasts together every single week. It did make me laugh when you sent me that. You even said, I think this might need an explainer, and I thought, I'm not explaining it. I'm going to just keep letting it go. I can almost imagine you getting hauled into your boss's office. Like, you've got to get them to stop every article that you do. People are commenting saying sneaky.
Someone commented on one of my Athletic articles the other day.
Oh, this is the dream. This is what I want. This is what I want. Fantastic. I've achieved my goal. I've got to the level with that nickname that I wanted to get to, and long may it continue. So Luca Digne has signed a new deal. Is it till 2028? Was it? I read earlier. Yeah. I'm assuming he's taken a pay cut. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so. I think there'll be layers involved. I think it's far more complex than just saying he's on this amount of money a week. Obviously, it will depend on bonuses and performance-related goals, maybe for this season and the season afterwards. You've got to remember as well is that he still has a year left of his contract, and he's still on. That contract was still on 120,000 a week. Yeah. So you probably have to take it in turn that the 2 years after that, essentially, he'll have a deficit rather than 120,000 he was on. But I think it's really good news for Villa when they decided that they would keep him, because, like I say, Villa were probably keeping their mind open in terms of they were looking at other left backs, younger left backs, to slot in under Maatsen potentially, and you move Luca Digne on. And let's not forget, if Atletico Madrid had really found out their interest, he'd probably be there now. As was the case, it didn't transpire. And when that happens and it gets to pre-season, and Emry has always made clear that he really values Luca Digne, and Luca Digne has very little issue in staying despite the challenger Maatsen and no Champions League, and he wants to obviously push for that World Cup squad for France. It made sense for all parties, really. And I think he's a really, really good professional. I think he's one of those players that you really need in the change room, because he's so consistent on the pitch. You walk past him. I was at Goodison in the mix zone, actually. He just came out of the change rooms, and you're very tight in the mix zone to the change room, probably about 2-3 yards away from the change room. And you just see him. He's not got any fat on him. He's just, carved out of stone, and he's just like veins popping out of his calves. He looks after himself so well. He sleeps at Bournemouth overnight to ensure he's got enough rest after late away games. I think he's a really good professional, really good man. And all he does is play football, go to training, and go home to his kids. He's very disciplined in that way. So another couple of years, I think, is really good for Villa. He's one of those players that I think will look after his body, and that will prolong his career.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. Told you earlier, I drove past Luca Digne. He doesn't know I saw him, but I drove past him. I won't reveal where I saw him, but I did drive past him earlier, and I was like, that guy looks like Luca Digne, and then quickly realised that it was, in fact, Luca Digne. So I spotted him earlier.
Are you sure it was on accident, or you weren't tracking him on purpose?
No. Don't track Villa players, but it was 100% Luca Digne. 100% dressed very well, I will say, as well. Celebrating his new contract with some clothing, maybe. And then the contract news, it kind of just keeps rolling, because you reported today about John McGinn as well. John McGinn's been linked with Everton. There were some links with Newcastle. I think it was yesterday or the day before as well. And John McGinn looks set for a new contract as well, which I would be all for personally.
Yeah, I don't know in terms of the story that Mark McCann broke today. In terms of Everton putting a bid in, I think
Was
there's
it Mark? I didn't realise it was Mark.
yeah, Mark.
Oh, I'll speak to him.
But there's slight debate from both sides. I think Everton would probably deny they put a formal offer in. Villa said maybe there could have been. So we decided not to really press that. And instead, I thought, okay, how can we move the story on? And then you get talking to people. We knew that from the outset when we reported Everton's interest last month that Villa were really keen to keep him because they still see immense value in him. And then you continue to talk to people this afternoon, and they say, actually, we intend to offer and discuss a new contract in the next few weeks. Whether that materialises, I don't know, but that's Villa's intention right now. And that's a sign that they want to keep him for many more years to come. He's the leader of that change room. He's only 30. It feels weird saying that. But I look at McGinn. I think he's so experienced and maybe the elder statesman. But he's only 30, so he's got a good few more years left in him. And yeah, they intend to sit down at the end of this window. Of course, every player's a price. If they offer double the 80 million, then maybe Villa will sit up. But right now, they're very keen to keep him, like they are with a lot of other players.
So you're expecting more sneaky contract news in the coming? And to be fair, you've been saying that every time you've come on in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think there'll be more contracts for sure.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. I thought you might expand or give me a little bit more, but you've shut it down. Just said there's going to be new contracts. If you had to put a number on how many new contracts you think you'll see over the next few weeks,
I think you'll definitely see one in the next couple of weeks, and then
I can think of two,
and then you could probably look to maybe up to four.
Four. I'd be struggling with
in the next few months.
Okay.
There's one that I think is pretty clear cut at the moment, and then there's others that will need some negotiating, and depends on what happens at the end of the window, right? Like we said before, Jacob Ramsey stays. I think he'll get a new contract.
Tillemans must be one who they must be thinking about with 2 years left on his
contract. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I won't spoil the other ones because I've got a vague idea who the other couple.
I've not told you though, have I? I've not told you.
No, you didn't tell me anything, Jacob. You never tell me anything that's going on behind it. I do know about. I know about one, and it didn't come from you. But I'll keep my powder dry. I won't say anything about it. You also texted me last night. There was a game last night. Oh my word! Talk about the game. You were back in action, back in journalistic action last night, Jacob.
Yeah, it was good to be back. Actually, it was good to catch up with a few of the guys that travelled to the States, and it was good to see Villa actually play close to their strongest lineup. Really, obviously, I went to the Walsall game, which was just a pointless running exercise, really. But it was good to see a lot of intensity. I thought they were really good first half. I thought the way that Gasparini's Roma played was a brilliant test. They were so aggressive. They play man to man as
such an intriguing appointment that is.
Every Gasparini team plays, and he's just a brilliant manager. But what Villa did very well after a few minutes of just kicking long and bypassing the press, they started to be really brave. I don't know if you watched it, Dan, but Emry received the ball basically in his own box, and then ended up with him in their final third driving with the ball, because obviously Roma, the way they play was man to man. He beat his man, the striker, carried on running, and all of a sudden the pitch just opens up for him. Because
what he does in pre-season, he loves a pre-season run, does Ezri Konsa. He doesn't do it any other time during the season, but pre-season he likes to bust along and have a little run.
Yeah, but it was great, and the way that Villa played out from the back, I think it was a really good sign that they can do that, and they can move the ball at really good speed. The box strike force with Ramsey and Buendia, and then Bailey and Watkins stretching, and right behind those two number 10s looked really good. Second half, of course, it's going to be slightly stilted, I guess, because there's a lot more substitutions. Players that are feeling their way into games, players that are not really part of the plans, having to get some minutes, i.e. Sam Inning Jr. But again, Villa finished it off really well with Donyell Marlin, who just seems to be just finishing everything so clinically.
My boy Donyell.
Brilliant. I love watching him, so entertaining. And yeah, it's a really, really good workout. I think I could see Villa improving after, I wouldn't say poor, but quite lukewarm performances when you don't really grasp much of what's going on.
As pre-season goes on, it becomes not more important, but you start to get a better feel of what's going to happen, the shape of players, how they're going, maybe what the system will be. And I didn't watch yesterday. I've seen the highlights. I didn't watch it because I was at Ty Brace's wedding, so I could not watch the game last night because I was there. But from what I'm hearing and what I've seen, it feels like Villa maybe doing a bit more with pressing. this season,
Yeah,
potentially, like a bit more high energy. Villa have never been massive pressers under Emry, but it sounds like that they might be this season, potentially.
potentially. Nothing jumped out. I would say that it depends on the game, really. So against Roma, you're probably comfortable in going at press because you'll probably want those turnovers because you know that Roma will do it to you, and you just get caught up in this really quite high intensity game. And Villa did that, and I think it's a good exercise in terms of improving that and testing their endurance. I can't see him becoming all of a sudden these high pressing monsters. I don't think they're built for that. I don't think Emry would want that. But what I do see is I think I can see them moving the ball far quicker centrally and finding ways to basically beat an opposition's press, because one of the key issues that Villa are going to have next season is a lot of teams won't fall for their bait in terms of, when Martinez or Powell puts their sole of the boot on the ball and they say, come and press us, maybe the first season, maybe the first part of second season, teams did that. Teams don't do that anymore. They just literally let you have the ball and cut the pass in midfield. So Villa have to try and find different ways of playing through the lines. And I started to see that yesterday, so I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah, and a great sign as well is Ollie Watkins just, remember when Wayne Rooney just kept scoring headers every week all of a sudden?
2010 season, yeah.
Yeah, and one of them was against Villa in a cup final, unfortunately. That just seems to be Ollie Watkins in pre-season. Suddenly Duncan Ferguson in the air.
Unbelievable. Ball seems to accelerate, doesn't it? It's quite amazing, really. I think he's always been good in the air, I think, especially recently. But it's a sign that he's getting good service. His movement looks really sharp. And Villa just looked a lot more fresh. You even see that they played a bit more of a high line, I think. And that's whenever Villa play a high line, I always feel like it's better for them because it means they've actually got to be a bit more aggressive. They can't just be so passive and let the team go play through them. They've got to be aggressive and on the front foot. Watkins I thought was sharp again, like he has been in preseason. Marlon, like we say, Emry Buendia looks really noticeably lean. Even before he scored that free kick, I said to John Townley next to us, was he this lean in the States? Because he looks like he's I don't know, he's put a bit of muscle on. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Buendia. I think he'll be a really good option if they keep him. And I think there's some really positives in that front line.
Justice for Greg Evans as well with the Buendia free kick, because he called that about 2 years ago that Villa had been working on free kicks with Emry Buendia, and then obviously he got injured and we never really saw it.
Yeah,
but he's got to be right eventually, isn't it? It's like me, if Jack Butland never signs for Villa, ultimately I'll be right.
And Wilfred and Ndidi.
No, I never said that. I just said they were interested. I'd heard they were interested was what I said. I think they were. You all know as well as me. Sometimes you'll say something that could be true at the time, and then it might not happen, and you look silly, but it was true at the time. You say you know that better. You know that as well as anyone.
Yeah, you're right. But
Greg did call that.
I was having a conversation with him. I said I can't remember the last time Villa scored directly from a free kick, so it was good.
Luca Dean in Emery's first game, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while, so hopefully they've not
Douglas Luiz, sorry.
Hopefully they've not used it all up in pre-season. So yeah, I think Buendia's free kick was good. He obviously got that assist as well for the header, so he's looking really sharp, and who knows, he could be an option, couldn't he?
Yeah, it was Douglas Luiz, the last free kick against Fraser Forster, when again it was Emery's first season though, so it's been a while since we scored a free kick. Unless anyone can correct me in the comments, I'm pretty sure that was it.
McGinn, that one that just does it count when no one got a touch onto it?
I suppose you do have to count it because it was technically a free kick. And McGinn scored a free kick against Bologna as well, didn't they?
Gosh, yeah.
Missed everyone and went in the Champions League the second game at Villa Park. So there we go. We've gone through a nice little history of Villa's free kicks under Unai Emery there, but it was a hell of a strike.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And his technique as well was really good, wasn't it? Yeah,
that's the bit Greg was talking about. That's what they'd been working on. I think I remember him trying to take one against Fulham away last season. And there was a big build-up for it. We had to wait 5 minutes for him to take it, and he just smashed it into the crowd, I think, or smashed it straight into the wall. I can't remember which one, but it was not a good free kick at all. But Greg Evans has ultimately been proved right with Buendia's free kick last night. Jack, is there anything else? We're 20 minutes in here. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not particularly. I'm looking forward to seeing Guessand. That's how you say it, right?
Guessand.
Evan
Guessand.
I've watched a lot of him recently in the last few days. I've spoken to a lot of people, and honestly, I don't think I've been this excited about a potential Villa signing for a while, actually, because it's a young player with a high ceiling. I think he's going to be a really good player. He can play on the right, the left, up front, number 10. And a few guys at the Athletic have done some really good data on him, and I've been looking at that, and I think I'm really excited about him. I think the data and the recruitment team have done a very good job to convince him and to move quickly to sign him. And he's a player that I like because not too many people know about him. Like in terms of, he's not a Marcus Rashford, he's not a Marco Asensio, who maybe have just crept over the hill and going downwards. He's a player with huge potential, and I can see him getting better. And also, we forgot to talk about Morgan Rogers' injury, didn't we?
Yeah, John's just asked.
Yeah. I wrote this morning, did the story on Morgan. I don't think the initial assessments are that he's not particularly serious. Of course, that can change with when the ankle and the I imagine swelling goes down. You can see a better measure and stick. But right now, there's hopeful that he can be fit in time to play Newcastle. But when he went down, 3 minutes after coming on, there was a bit of a hush around the stadium. But I imagine, and I think after initial assessments, he's positive that he'll be fine. He just needs a little bit of rest and further tests.
Okay, excellent news, because we don't want anything happening to Morgan Rogers, that's for sure. Just a call out Sir Unai Emry. God, why can I not say Emry? That's like a pretty basic word that I've been able to say for the last 3 years. Why can't I say it all of a sudden? Has donated £1.99 Great British pounds to us, to be factually incorrect with the last free kick that Villa scored. But we thank you for the £2 here at the channel. If anyone else wants to donate £2, I'm going to become a dad in January, so I need all the money I can get.
Yes.
So every subscriber donated £2, I'll be able to buy the best pram in the world.
And you're guilt tripping, but yeah, before we go,
I'm not guilt tripping.
We have to, congratulations, Dan, on the big news. If no one's
Thank you, Jacob.
heard of it, you're expecting a child, aren't you, with your wife?
Yeah, January. So busy transfer window for me. Big unveiling. How will I announce it on social media? Who knows? You know, when people sign people nowadays and they do a big transfer announcement, do I need to do something like that?
Is it going to be like terms agreed or lifetime contracts?
Oh, that'd be a cheesy pun that Jen will hate, no doubt, when the baby arrives.
Yeah, you do like a cheesy pun, but it's great news. And yeah, will I be coming to the christening, or is there anything you want me to do to help?
Just keep providing your sneaky contract news, because that's what people tune in for. Ultimately, that's what people are coming in for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I will. If contracts are signed in the next few weeks, few months, I think once the window's shut, Villa will get a better idea of what their budget is and therefore how much they can put aside for contracts. I see a few of the comments asking about Canvot.
We're not doing well with the French accents today, are we? It must be Canvo. The silent T, gotta be.
Yeah. Villa obviously still like him. I think they're deliberating whether they're going for a second offer, but a lot of other clubs do like him as well. And I think there is a bit of competition, and there's only so much Villa can spend on that type of young centre-back as well. I think there's a limit. But if he falls under that limit, I can see Villa being competitive and getting him. But there's another club in the Premier League and another club in Europe that likes him as well. So it'll be tricky.
Okay. I'm going to set you a task for next time you come on. There's a bit of research for you to do. The confidence levels in Bogard. Someone mentioned it earlier about him having a great pre-season.
Yeah.
I think he's played himself in, I think the need for another...
starting lineup?
No, sorry, not starting lineup, but I think it's took the pressure off maybe getting another right-sided centre-back in, potentially.
Yeah, but he played right back yesterday.
He's got something. Bogard
Konsa played the whole 90 minutes yesterday. Only
if Konsa was to be injured, I know we kind of spoke about this the other day. I think I'd back Bogard to grow every single week and fill those shoes. Jacob does not agree with me. I
really like Bogard. I don't think he can be a centre back in week out in the Premier. He still needs to be bigger, more dominant. I think he's getting there. I think he's had a great pre-season. I agree, but I think his learning needs to be centre back, right back, centre field. Another season like he had last year with a few more games. I think you have to find, I think, a properly good right side centre back. You know, Mascara before he went to Arsenal was
he's going to be good. He is.
Yeah, but that's the type of calibre of player that Villa can try and sign. A bit like a Canvo, I think, a young, really dominant centre back who can play right back as well. I think Bogard's getting there, but I think he can be used for depth in other positions as well. I'm just not sure that he can play week in, week out if the worst happens to Konsa.
I just think if we sign another centre-back, he falls out of the 20-man matchday squad, and that's no good for him.
True. Yeah, true. I don't know, but he can cover lots of positions. So I do think he'll get opportunities, and he can, like you say, he can play right back. And as we know, Matty Cash can't play every single week, can he? So maybe he'll be battling with Andres Garcia.
Okay, well, we'll see. One to keep an eye on. Just setting you a little challenge to have a word with your people. See what they're thinking. See whether they agree with me, or see whether they agree with you. But I think that'll do us, Jacob. Good to do a live, wasn't it? We haven't done a live for a while. Nice to see what people are saying as we go through the show.
But Dan, I'm going to put it on you. We need to do a live show.
Oh, here he is.
See those. I never get invited to any of these things. So I love to do a live show. We need to organise one. So I've told you this in private, Dan, but we've not done it. So I thought I'd try and put the public pressure on you now.
I've had lots going on, lots of things happening.
Yeah,
I have got. You know what? I've got a venue I can use as well. I know. I do know some. We can do it when the season starts.
Well, people
would come. Mate, people used to come when I was doing this with Tom Julian. They'll come to see you.
So yeah, we need to.
Oh God, office has collapsed. What the hell was that? Jeez.
We need to float the idea out just to see if there's interest first, and then maybe double down.
Gareth Southgate's just fell down from the from the top shelf, and it's actually broken.
Let's have a look.
Can't see him. I can only see the bottom half of Gareth Southgate. I don't know where he's gone. Tell you what, it scared Tebow to death though. That could be no.
No.
Can I just get Tebow on camera quickly for the end of the show?
Yeah, go on.
Tebow.
End with a flourish.
2 seconds.
This is probably why we don't go live anymore.
Here he is, my little Tebow.
Bless him.
My little blind boy. Come for the end of the podcast.
Okay, then.
I can tell he's scared by that noise that he's just heard because he's licking. He always licks when he's scared.
How old?
Don't know, mate, because he was adopted from Romania. He's a rescue. So
mine's a Romanian rescue.
Have we never known this?
I know. He's with me now. But yeah, he's too big to pick up. We should have talked about this once we finished the podcast. I don't think people want to listen now to it, but yeah.
We'll go. Thank you very much to those that have joined us live, me and Sneaky Contracts Boy here on 1874. If you're not subscribed with your post notifications on, if you can do that on YouTube, that would be absolutely brilliant. If you can leave us a comment and leave us a like as well, that would be fantastic. And if you're listening via Spotify or Apple, give us 5 stars, leave us a review, leave us a comment. All those things that you do really, really help, and we really, really appreciate it here at the channel. As I mentioned earlier, there'll be a video or podcast out tomorrow morning with Jonathan Johnson, French footballer expert, giving us the lowdown on Guessand. And of course, there was some other Guessand content out yesterday as well. If you haven't watched that, nothing else really left to say. I'm going to go try and fix Gareth Southgate. Jacob's going to try and find some more Sneaky contract news, and everyone just have a good night. And as always, it's an Up the Villa from me.